I'm Joel Searles here for the Samurai Pulse. I'm going to be published here on We Are the Mighty. I've got Kevin Hudson of PXG's Four Heroes program with Parsons Extreme Golf. How you doing today, Kevin?
I'm good, Joel. How are you?
Wonderful, wonderful. Thanks for spending time with me. Want to kick this off with right into it. Can you tell us a little bit about your background and how you became involved with PXG?
Sure. I'm a retired Marine colonel. I was an attack pilot for 26 years and decided to retired out of the Pentagon. I was running Marine aviation programs. And like many Marines, looking for that second career. And lo and behold, I found myself out here in Scottsdale, Arizona, working for a gentleman by the name of Bob Parsons.
Yeah.
So as you know, Bob's background's a Marine, hence while he likes to surround himself with Marines and likely why he extended an invitation to me to come out. And he hired me back in May of 2016. So I went straight from uniform into working for Yam Management, working for Bob, and he had just started a golf company called PXG. So I came on board, helped out with operations, and after a couple of years, Mr. Parsons asked me about starting a new program, and it was going to be a program that was based with giving special prices to our veterans, current and past.
Right.
And it's kind of a funny story because, I was running operations. I'm an operator by trade, Marine, much like you. And he said, hey, I want to start this sales program, and it's a way to give back to our veterans. And I said, that sounds great. I'll get the inventory ready to move. And he goes, and you're going to run it, Colonel. And that's when I was like, okay, I don't do sales programs, but I guess I'll figure it out pretty quick. And off we went. And ironically, that was 5 years ago this month. So May of 2018, we kicked it off, and it's been growing and been going strong for many, many years. So, background was from Marine pilot to golf manufacturing, golf production, and then Mr. Parsons came up with the PXG for Heroes program. And what's interesting, and Joel, the Parsons, through the Bob and Renee Parsons Foundation, they already give hundreds of millions away to exceptional organizations, many of which recipients are veterans organizations, some are not. And, really, neither one of the Parsons have to do anything additional, right, to give back. But that's just the kind of person Bob is, and he wanted to give back. And the one quote that sticks out in my mind when we started the program was, Mr. Parsons said, "Hey, your mission, being a Marine, mission oriented, is to get the world's best golf equipment in the hands of our nation's best." Hence, we started the PXG for Heroes program.
Absolutely. Thanks for sharing all that. That's wonderful. And Bob and Renee are very generous individuals. I've seen that, witnessed that. So, it's great to see him still continuing, not only with his excellent golf clubs, and they've been rated highly by people who are not veterans, and putting them into the hands of vets who potentially couldn't afford them. I know that they are of a high level, and not everybody has the extra cash, but PXG for Heroes sounds like it's tailored right for those individuals who would respect and treat the clubs well and be happy with having them. So.
Yeah, exactly. And maybe you do or you don't know the background. Bob's claim to fame, and he credits all of his successes because of those traits that he learned in the Marine Corps, right? The discipline, the hard work, never giving up. That all came from those characteristics that are instilled in us as Marines. And the company, if you look at our nomenclature for our golf clubs, they're named after military occupation specialties, right? Marine Corps MOSs, 0311 infantrymen, which Bob was, and our 0811, our original drivers, artillery. So it really resonates with our military brothers and sisters, and that's the backbone of our company. It's the backbone of Bob, and that's why we're very honored to offer this program to all of our veterans, current and past, and also our first responders, current and past.
Mm-hmm. No, that's great. That's great. Are there any other MOSs that are going to be represented in some of the golf clubs, like maybe the 7,500 field for pilots? Or
I'd love to get a 75-65 attack pilot, right, and call it the Super Cobra, right? Find the hole and kill the target. But Bob is an innovator. He's always coming up with MOSs. our 0211, right? Our intelligence. That's our entry level irons, our cast irons, and we have the 0311, 0317 sniper. So I'm sure there's a couple of other MOSs, but I would be very happy if Bob decided to name one of our clubs the 7565, so it could be a TAC pilot.
There you go. Well, who knows? Maybe he will.
Yeah.
What are you most proud of your time there with the PXG for Heroes program?
It's just the ability to give back to those our nation's best. Every day right now we've actually supported now over 750,000 veterans, current and past, and also first responders. So there's almost 1 million of our brothers and sisters running around out there on the golf course carrying the PXG golf equipment. So Bob's mission of getting the world's best golf equipment in the hands of our nation's best. I'm proud of the fact that we've almost hit 1 million people. We've gotten them out there, but more importantly is it's tragic how many veterans we're losing every day to suicide, because we have so many of our brothers and sisters that are dealing with PTSD every day. And what we found is that many of our veterans and first responders who are dealing with PTSD, we're all competitors, right? We like to compete. We've competed on the most competitive field of any field. That's the battlefield, right?
Right.
And when a veteran leaves that, we still want to compete with our brothers and sisters. Maybe we can't still jump out on the lacrosse field or the baseball field or the football field or the hockey ring, but we can get on a field of competition called the golf course, right? Because as we're getting older and a little bit slower, maybe putting on some pounds, we can still compete. And what we have found is that golf is truly therapeutical for all of our brothers and sisters that are dealing with that PTSD. Because think about it, whether you're shooting 70 or you're shooting 120, whatever your index is, it doesn't matter. That's 70 or 120 shots that you're not thinking about PTSD, right? You're thinking about hitting that little white ball, trying to strike it, have a great shot right towards the target. And you're likely with some of your fellow veterans or first responders, brothers and sisters playing. So you have that camaraderie where you're just not thinking about PTSD, and it is really therapeutic. So I guess a long answer short is I'm most proud of the fact that we're getting the best golf equipment at a reasonable price. And like you said, a lot of our veterans couldn't afford our regular retail pricing. Through this program, now we can get them in a set of clubs. They can be proud of what's in their bag, and they get out on the golf course so they can compete.
Absolutely. And the golf course is most often a peaceful place.
Yeah. Most often, unless somebody shanks it on the fairway next to you, so we're all pretty good though at incoming. I've unfortunately had to hit the deck a few times on some errant shots coming my way, as I'm sure you have.
This is true. Yes. And as long as you don't have Bill Murray as the groundskeeper going after gophers, then you also probably have a quiet golf course.
Absolutely.
Maybe you're playing there at Bushwood with Ted Knight and Rodney Dangerfield. Nonetheless, just joking aside, no, it is very therapeutic, and I would say that for having played golf, as an adult, post my time in Afghanistan, it's definitely been a quiet, peaceful, and getting your mind off of yourself, getting your mind off of your troubles. It's supposed to be a stress relief, and it is. So that's also great that Bob and the PXG brand, joined together with that concept, and to get the veterans out on the course for some camaraderie, because many times that's what we need, and we don't always get once we leave the service or our time at the police department or fire department or as an EMT. So, what can you talk about with PXG and their partnering with some of the service academies?
So we're very proud through our collegiate program. Obviously, we have several civilian schools, but I'm most proud of the fact that we partnered with both the Naval Academy and the U.S. Air Force. It just seems like a natural marriage that the Academy and also the Air Force, both those golf courses are part of our program. Because think about it, these are some of our nation's finest young men and women that are already sacrificing, right? They've made the decision. They've already made the decision about joining our service and serving their country, right? And instead of going to a civilian university where they could be having a great time and they've decided to focus their life, right? And they're going to the Naval Academy or the Air Force Academy or West Point up at the Army. And they've decided that, they want to be selfless and support our country and defend our country. And those individuals that are athletes and that are actually golfers at the Naval Academy, they have both a men's and women's golf team. We support both. At the Air Force Academy, they have a male golf team. We support that, and it's just great to see these young men and women supporting or sporting our equipment out there as they're competing against some of the top universities in the nation. And they're actually really good. It's tough for the academies to compete at the highest level, but where we have found, or at least the academies have found, is that, in the smaller sports world, if you will, such as lacrosse, golf, crew, they're ranked consistently. And these are young men and women that could probably play at other universities, but they've decided to make a sacrifice and defend our country. So I'm most excited that we support those. The other schools are all great, but I like to try to have PXG give back to those that are already sacrificing the most, and those are the young men and women that are at our service academies.
Absolutely, absolutely, and thanks for sharing that. You're 100% correct. There's something about the PXG rental program that I want to touch on. Do you want to touch on that too?
Yeah, the actual term that directly supports the PXG for Heroes program is the PXG Hero Demo site program.
Okay.
And what we've done is, Bob made a decision that we want to try to get back to our military golf courses, right? So our military golf courses, frankly, that's one of the first things that the Department of Defense wants to close down to save a buck, right? Because they're like, oh, well, who needs a golf course, right? We should be training pilots how to fly. We should train infantrymen how to, kick in doors and find targets. But what they don't realize is that is the one place where our servicemen, right, Navy, Air Force, Army, Marines can actually come back from a deployment. Most of these young men and women live on base. They don't have a lot of money, and they can go play golf. But unfortunately, our government's closing down a lot of these golf courses, so they're not making a lot of money. So we wanted to try to give back. So we basically donate a couple of demo sets to some of these golf courses. We have 24 demo sites right now that are throughout the nation on Army bases, Navy bases, Marine Corps bases, and Air Force bases. And any veteran, current or past, or civilian, if they're a first responder, can get on base. They can demo the clubs for free on the range, or they can rent them from the golf course. The golf course sets the rental rate. Normally for a premium set of clubs, any golf course you go to, you probably spend anywhere from $150 to $200 for a round. There, the rates are anywhere from $20 to $50, depending on the golf course. And these young men and women can play with the best golf clubs in the world and enjoy a round. And then what we hope is that they decide to take up the game of golf, and then they can come through the PXG Heroes program and purchase a set of clubs at a reasonable cost, and then they become golfers, right? And they can enjoy the solitude of golf as they're dealing with those tough deployments. When they come back and they're dealing with PTSD, at least now they have this sanctuary that they can go out with, and hopefully they're playing PXG. So that is the PXG Hero demo sites. You can find those on our website. If you go to pxg.com, go down to the rental program, it pops up all of our rental programs, and all the military golf courses are annotated by a star. So you can see those, and you can go there and you can demo the clubs for free. And then the problem we have with that is everybody wants to buy the demo set. They're like, hey, Colonel, can we sell the set? I'm like, no. We can build that same set for that individual, keep the demo sets there. So it's a great program. A lot of these golf courses have actually made some good money off the rental clubs. And like I said, we don't get anything out of it. We don't charge them anything for the demo sets. They keep all the rental money, and it gives those golf clubs on our military bases a little bit of money, generates a little bit of revenue. We have them on our website, which generates a little bit of foot traffic for them, because a lot of the bases now, Joel, as you know, have actually the golf course is always kind of on the outskirts of the base. They fenced off the golf course that now it's accessible by civilians. So now civilians are going in there, hopefully when they see PXGs, they know they can demo them, and it drives up some foot traffic, which ideally drives up some rounds and brings more money to our military golf courses. So that's kind of the concept behind it was, we wanted to find a means that we could get these golf clubs out, have these servicemen that are on base. They don't have anything else to do. At least they can go out there. They can hit some balls with PXG golf equipment, and then hopefully they'll participate in the program and become PXG hero troops.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's great too. I didn't know about the civilians being able to come on to the bases and play there, but there's some very, very beautiful bases around the military.
And it's not every base, there's still some very classified bases you can't get on there that have golf courses, but like Admiral Baker and in Southern California, I mean, that is accessible by everybody. And that's one of our demo sites. Me being a Marine, basically most of the Southern California Marine bases are demo sites, Camp Fulton, Miramar, NES, Pensacola. I mean, we have a ton of them, and we're really honored to support those programs and hopefully generate a little bit of cash so they can stay open for these young men and women, so that when they're stuck on base, they have something to do as opposed to just look at each other and get bored. And as you know, a bored Marine and garrison is a Marine that normally finds a way to get in trouble.
Yes,
so
idle
we
hand.
want to avoid that.
Very true. Idle hand, definitely. What are your plans, if you're able to mention for them, for the PXG for Heroes program next?
So, it's interesting. An individual early on in the program asked Mr. Parsons, how long is this program going to last for? And frankly, I didn't know. I didn't know if it was a program that we're just going to turn on for a little bit, turn off, turn on when we, wanted to for seasonality or whatever. But Bob made a comment on his social media. He goes, you know what? As long as I'm standing up, breathing air, we're going to have a PXG for Heroes program. So with that, I suspect that Bob's going to continue the program. And as we continue to invent and release new product, it'll absolutely be on the PXG for Heroes program. I mean, right now, any current or past veteran or first responder can enjoy special pricing on everything, including our accessories, our soft goods, all of our hard goods. So it's a great program, and frankly, we're the only OEM that discounts all of our accessories and our hard goods. And depending on the level, it's discounted fairly steeply for some of our older stuff, and even our new stuff that comes out. That's unheard of with other OEMs. Other OEMs, it's tough to get verified unless you're an active duty military person or an active first responder. For us, we can verify everybody, whether they served a couple of years or 26 years like me, right? That individual that served 2 years, it doesn't make him or her any less of a veteran than myself or you, Joel, right? You serve one day, you're a veteran for life. Hopefully you were discharged honorably, right? That's the kind of folks who want to support.
Right.
But and it goes the same way with first responders, and we're really proud of that. The other thing that Mr. Parsons wanted to make sure that we do, and no other OEM does that I know of it, is the families really sacrifice as well, right? All those times I was deployed, my wife, it was probably harder on her raising the children and having to deal with not knowing when or if we were going to come home, right? So those families sacrifice as well. Through the PXG for Heroes program, we extend the discount to the immediate family, and we're very, very proud of that. So I can extend it to my wife, my children, my parents, because think about it, they all serve, right? They all support that individual airman, sailor, soldier, and Marine. When they're deployed, they're the ones that have to bear the responsibility of taking care of that veteran's family while they're deployed. So we're really honored to do that as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Was there anything else you wanted to share? Any other things coming to mind before we wrap up for today?
No, just appreciate what you're doing, getting our story out there. It's it's a story that we're very proud of. I'm honored that Bob allows me to run the program and keep it going. Try to keep the wheels on the train and keep the train on the track. But if anybody has any information, the best thing to do is go to pxg.com/heroes. Or just pxg.com. If you go in the upper right hand corner, you'll see PXG for Heroes. Click on it. They can get verified, and then they can participate in the program. So if there are any other questions, feel free to go to the website. And Joel, thanks for what you're doing. I appreciate your time.
Thank you so much for your time today, Kevin. Happy to help you, happy to help PXG, and most importantly, Mr. Parsons anytime. So have a great rest of your day and Semper Fi.
All right, Super Fry, Marine. Appreciate it.